Hey, Jared.
Yes.
Why don't astronauts make good movie critics?
Because it's got to be something with weight or gravity, I feel like. But I don't know.
That's not that profound.
Okay.
Because they think Interstellar is a documentary.
Isn't Interstellar a documentary? That's what I thought. Is it not?
Hey, welcome back to Screen Time Film, a podcast where we discuss a director's filmography from start to finish. Currently, this is the last current film of Adam McKay. We've been doing Adam McKay for the last month or two, whatever it's been, 2 months maybe.
Yeah.
3 months.
I know you didn't have that many, so yeah, it hasn't been that long.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
So today we will be discussing Don't Look Up. But first, Jared, I had no idea that Subaru made a telescope.
I don't remember that. Who says that one?
It's the anchor dude. Like, so they make
Okay.
it throughout the first.
Not Kate Blanchett. The
other guy.
Yeah.
They make reference to, they make a mention that the telescope is Subaru telescope. And even when the first time they said it, I was like, well, that's funny. It's a car manufacturer and they make a telescope. And so even though they said it a couple times, then when he finally says it the first time he's on air for the anchor guys, like he just makes that side comment of,
Okay.
he's like, I didn't know that Subaru made telescopes. I think it's just called the Subaru telescope, not made by Subaru, but you know.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't really know. I didn't look it up, but I think that's the case. And that was
probably, yeah.
But yeah, anyway, my name is Josh, and this is my co-host, Jared.
Josh, I want to give a prayer for stuff, like dope stuff, like material stuff, like sick apartments and watches.
Yeah, I did write the other one down. I timed this Molly perfect.
Oh, yeah. And Josh, be careful. This guy will charge you for free stuff.
Yeah. All right, so Adam McKay's last, most current film.
I still don't know what he's doing.
Don't Look Up. Yeah, I don't know.
Film-wise. Like,
yeah,
he has to be doing something.
It's eventually, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But this was a decent gap since Vice, right?
Vice was 2018.
Yeah, so 3 years. This is 2021.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so 2021, rated R, 2 hours and 18 minutes. 2 low-level astronomers must go on a giant media tour to warn humankind of an approaching comet that will destroy planet Earth. Directed by Adam McKay, writers Adam McKay and David Sciarrotta. Cinematographer Linus Sandgren.
Yes.
Sandgren. I guess. I don't know how you say his name. But also did Saltburn, La La Land, and No Time to Die.
Yeah, he's
way more talented than you see in this film.
Yeah.
Not that it was terrible, but
First Man. It's basically most of Damien Chazelle's movies because he hasn't done that many. Yeah. So I guess he's kind of his main DP, which is interesting. But yeah, I know when I saw that, I was like, this movie doesn't look like those movies at all, which is interesting. But
and then we also have our composer Nicholas Bertel.
Yes,
Bertel, back again.
Yep.
And production costs. What do you think? These Netflix movies are tricky. So that's what we didn't say. This one did not premiere. Yeah. This did not premiere in the theater. This is a straight to Netflix film. But so it's a little tricky because they do financing a little differently sometimes because they pay the actors outright instead of on the back end sometimes. And so anyway, just saying that like it can make it make them seem more expensive on the front end because they retain all the rights because there's not a chance for them to make money. Whereas like a lot of times, like some of the leads will get paid less, but then make a percentage of the profits on like feature, big films like this.
Oh yeah, I learned that on the studio. I remember them talking about that.
So that means some of the streaming ones that are not going to get theatrical releases, have the payment, like the overall cost is a little different.
Okay.
And I remember the one time some of the other Netflix ones have been kind of a little like high for what you think they are because of the paying for the talent. I remember that was the Gray Man or whatever.
Yep.
That one was like a crazy high budget for that film, I think, because of all the talent getting paid up front. But
okay, well,
anyway, I'm not trying to skew.
No, I know.
But just trying to give it the context. This film, the cost structure is different. So
well, I was also keeping in mind, I'm sure if it wasn't all filmed, they at least did some filming, I bet, in 2020, because it also seems like there's even some commentary on like stuff from 2020 in this film. Maybe I could be wrong, but so then that adds cost, because I know, during that time,
COVID.
Yeah,
costs,
they did that.
Regulations. No, yeah, because this came out December 2020. I remember it came out in December.
Oh, it was into 2021.
This one came out in 2021, but it came in December 2021.
Right, so they definitely were shooting still in.
They probably were still shooting in late 2020.
Yeah, because I do remember watching this when it first came out. I'll still go with what I've been guessing, 100 million.
Okay, that's actually high, 75.
All right.
So I mean, you got to figure, like, other than some of the scene. I mean, there's a lot of sets, I guess, in there, but like
there's a lot of green screen. CG, though.
Yeah, green screen, and really, I mean, there's not like crazy action. It's not CG.
No,
right?
but a lot of actors.
Correct. There are a lot of talent here.
Yeah.
All right. Before we get to that, though, there was 4 Oscar nominations, which is crazy.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
For what?
One was Best Picture, nominated for Best Picture.
No.
Yes, in 2022.
That must have been a 2021.
Yeah. Well, the Oscars are 2020 for. Yeah,
right. Yeah.
Nominated for Best Achievement in Film Editing.
Okay.
Nominated for the music, the original score.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And then Best Original Screenplay.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, the story is interesting.
Yeah.
For sure.
But didn't win any of them. But
yeah, okay.
But I feel like that, yeah. I mean, I feel like sometimes I don't know. I think this was because I would guess it a little bit of the propaganda that's in this film is why it got so liked by Hollywood.
Interesting. Yeah.
That's what I would say.
Yeah. That could be a part of it.
It's definitely a little like save the earth.
Oh yeah.
Like hippie kind of.
Yeah.
In there.
Definitely.
But anyway, not that I don't think we should take care of our
there's anything wrong.
Well, that's it. Not that I don't think we should take care of our planet, but like,
yes,
it's got a little bit of like heavy-handed in there.
Oh yeah, it does. Yeah.
All right, so we got like you said, a decent cast here. We have Leonardo DiCaprio, Jennifer Lawrence, Meryl Streep, Kate Blanchett, Jonah Hill, Tyler Perry, Timothy Chalamet, Ron Perlman, Ariana Grande, Melanie Leninsky, Chris Evans, and Sarah Silverman.
Yeah,
we're both in there. Quickly. I didn't catch anyone else that I recognized.
I don't think I. No, I think that's it. Yeah.
Right on. All right. So, overall thoughts on this film?
Well, I wanted to start with, because you said you did watch Vice.
Yes. Yeah, I did.
Do you want to? Yeah, I want to hear what you thought of that one first, and then we can.
Want to do that here?
Well, where else will we? I mean,
or at the end, I guess one or the other.
Oh, we could. Yeah.
Yeah, let's save the end.
Save the end. Okay.
Because then we also, this is our last Adam McKay film, so we can kind of talk about the overall. Yeah. So overall thoughts. I mean, I can go first. So I watched this when it came out, and it sounded like you did too. So on Netflix.
So this is the second time.
This is the second time seeing this film. I was kind of disappointed the first time because I think I had higher hopes based on the trailer, based on the director, based on the talent that was involved. And so I remember watching it being a little being definitely disappointed after seeing this the first time.
Same. Yep.
Okay. Going to the second time with my expectations lower, because I remember being disappointed. I remember the overall plot, but I would say now is more split. I feel like seeing it the second time, I'm like 50-50 on this. I think there's some stuff that I think, like you were saying, the overall idea of it is a good idea. I think and I think there's stuff that works in here, and there's stuff that doesn't work. I think the biggest problem for me is the movie itself doesn't know tonally what it wants to be. And I think that's where there's a lot of the struggle comes in. Like there's times when it tries to be kind of silly funny and it doesn't work because other times it's too serious. And overall, the way it's filmed and everything is more like serious documentary style. Because tonally, in general, I think this film feels very similar to all his last two films, which were based on true stories, narrative, documentary style, Big Short and Vice. And then you go into the satire.
Yep.
And either you need to do it straight shooter satire, which is what 60-70% of this film is. And I think that's the stuff that works better. But when they start to get into where we're going to be a little too over the top goofy, is the stuff that I think doesn't work in this film. And that's, a third or fourth of it. Right. And like specifically Jonah Hill's character, I think is terrible in this.
Yeah, he was.
Even though we both had two funny quotes from him.
That was
that's like the best thing anything from him. And
he was very annoying most of the time.
And just like dumb. Yeah. And so there's like those moments where you have those people, I think just didn't work. And I think really take you out of what otherwise I think could have been a little bit more of a, they just wouldn't go the goofy things. I mean, even the ending just kind of silly and stupid.
Yeah.
And we'll get to that. Yeah. But anyway, that's kind of where I'm at with it.
Okay. I mean, I'm very, very similar to how you are on all that. Cause I was the same way. First time watching this, I was disappointed. I was like, man, that kind of sucked. And then watching it this time, I liked it more than I did the first time because I was more aware of it. But I think overall as it goes, because I like the story, like we mentioned, and the idea, and it starts strong. And this time, like, it kind of as it goes, I'm like, and then the ending I like, but then that very final scene I think is awful.
Yeah, I think I'm like, why? On the same page as some of this stuff.
And I remember watching the first time when it first came out. Even I was like, that very last kind of post-credit scene, I was like, they shouldn't have done that. Like, I was like, man, that was really dumb. But anyway, so yeah, it is a mix. I don't know if I would. I'm trying to think. The percentage you said, what, 60-70% satire?
Well, I think
then like 30% serious.
No, I said it the other way.
Other way. Okay. Yeah. I don't know. I guess kind of 50-50 for me, but I see what you mean with it. Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's get into it.
Okay.
Well, as you mentioned, and I kind of agree, I think the opening setup works really well. The stuff with the comet discovery immediately sets a tone very well and gives like great stakes and like where the story journey is going to go. And then right away, you also, it's like, oh, this is not going to be your typical disaster movie. Right. And it's going to be a little different, a little strange.
Yeah.
But anyway, I think that works. And again, it's very, other than their awkward personalities, it kind of is, the setup is pretty straightforward. Like it's not, I mean, it's like legitimately, oh, this is something that could happen. Right.
Yeah.
And what are your thoughts on
the first couple of notes I have is just talking about specific characters I like.
Okay.
So first off, I think Cate Blanchett's character is amazing.
Yes.
in this.
Yes.
The co-host of the internet news show, I guess, the Daily Rip. Yeah, I think she is great. Just insane. Also, another thing that she doesn't really, I mean, we know how good of an actress she is, but this specific character, I don't think I've seen her do before.
True.
And so that's great. And then obviously I really like Chalamet in general and Chris Evans. So great to see them both in it, even though Chalamet's in it a little bit more, but not really that much either. And Chris Evans is in one scene. But the other main one I wanted to talk about was the tech owner of Bash, which I was trying to figure out. I'm like, is he a mix of Tim Cook and Joe Biden? Because that's what I kind of gathered from his voice and the way he acted. And obviously there's parallels to Apple with this for sure. But like his character in particular, I was trying to figure out, and that's what I came up with was Tim Cook and Joe Biden kind of. But it's just like
Joe Biden, is that just because he's kind of?
Well, there's even one point, and this is what I was trying to wonder on, like, because I'm trying to remember when this actually happened. But he even, is it the president or someone else? But he like sniffs this girl like right behind her at one point, like at the end of the movie or close to the end. I think when he's showing like his robots or whatever that are gonna. Anyway, but I was like that happened, I think in 2020 maybe. I don't know. I don't remember now. But anyway, so I was like, but his character was great, especially his voice was just ridiculous. I looked him up and I don't recognize the actor.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I didn't.
But he was great. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely some. Yeah, Apple parallels with the phones and the software releases and stuff, and yeah. All right. So, what about when we first meet the president? The White House scenes, I think in general are hilarious. I think I love Meryl Streep's like attitude and just like the attitude of like I said, the only thing Jonah Hill.
Mm-hmm.
Just didn't care for him at all.
No.
Just and like you made a comment in your quote, the commander general guy, whatever that makes him pay.
He's like Secretary of Defense or something. I don't know. He's really high up. Yeah, I don't remember exactly who it was.
Pay for the snacks
that he gets.
He's like, yeah, it's about $10 a piece. Will cover it, and then they all pony up the cash, and then later. And then, I mean, I love it because it's a bit that just keeps going.
Yeah, I like that too. They keep bringing it back.
Because she's just like, I can't believe.
Which I'd be the same way. I'd be like I wouldn't be able to get over it. I'd be like, why do you do that? Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
And yeah, just it was
I like
funny.
at the end when I think the last time she brings up is with Chalamet because she just meets him.
Mm-hmm.
And is he the one that says he's like maybe it's like a power move on his part or something? I don't know. The way he responds about it is hilarious. But yeah, when she's asked like, why did he do it? Yeah.
Yeah, it was good. It's good. But that's where that first happens.
The scenes with the president and all that. A lot of it reminded me of the comedy of that part reminded me of Veep a lot, for sure.
Mm. Yeah, well, I was wondering, like, so one thought I had was that do you think they made the president female so that it wouldn't be directly correlate to anybody that's current president?
Yeah.
So, like, it's like you can't be like, oh, they were thinking it's this guy because it's not even, there's no guy. I mean, it's.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure Adam McKay was very conscious of that when he was.
I don't know. It's just one of those things where, like, by doing that, you kind of, it's going to be hard to do any obvious correlations because it's a woman instead of a man.
Yeah. And yeah, doing satire with that and making sure, I guess, for him to not, I don't know, come across one way or another. Yeah, I guess probably. Yeah. But no, I mean, Meryl Streep was great as the president, and her attitude also, because it's like, I don't know if necessarily the president would be like that, but a lot of people would be like that, where she's just like, yeah, I don't really care. Or at first she doesn't really even believe them at all.
Yeah. Well, yeah, no, I think that's the thing. It's kind of believable some of the ways they address it, because it's kind of like, well, is it really a problem? Well, we've got these midterms. We got to deal with the midterms. I don't really want to, let's hold off in telling people. Yeah. And then when it's being something that can be used politically, then suddenly they have a plan. They have
which, I mean, that's literally any candidate does that.
Well, yeah, on any side. Yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah.
And then my next note is then the talk show, The Daily Rip.
Yes.
That was fantastic. All the scenes with that, I think, were great. Of course, mostly because Cate Blanchett was fantastic.
Yeah.
The way again, so believable, the way they would just like kind of comment on the stuff that the scientists would say, like to kind of make it sound goofy or funny or positive, and just kind of playing off of that. And it was just felt so real to like the stupid media crap that's out there.
Yeah. But especially because it's like I don't know, because they made it seem like it was more like an internet talk show and not on one of the major networks.
Oh, really? I just assumed it was on a major network.
Well, even if it was, yeah.
They didn't name the network because they made it up and they want to,
they don't want it, yeah. But, yeah, no, you're right. Very believable too.
Just
how they would be and like want to keep the...
Well, I mean, instead of it be like, oh, don't explain the math. Let's just like...
Yeah.
It's got to be marketable and like being able to...
Well, and
people to understand, even the idiots out there. We need to make sure.
Yeah.
So it's entertaining and all that stuff.
The thing I like is because it kind of happens, I guess, right after them, is what they show with different memes, news articles, social media to see like the state of America in that moment. But it's also specifically with him because he gets turned to like, I don't know, sexy as scientist or something like that.
And then they make her into a dumb meme.
Yeah.
Because she kind of went crazy. No, that was my next note. Is like
so I like how they do all that.
The memes and the hashtag stuff, like, again, feels very real, like what would happen.
Real, yeah. And very, very of the time also. So it definitely makes sense, like, all the way up to 2020, like how people are in general. Because that makes sense now. Well, even into, because I don't know how long it took them to do posts. So they're probably still shooting into 2021 then, if it came out the end of 2021. So getting like very current commentary into the movie, it seemed, for that time. Yeah.
Well, some of that could have been, added in pretty late in the game.
That's what I mean.
Stuff's easy to.
That's true. Yeah.
Because it's most of it can just be one-off things that they cut in. So I think the whole mining the asteroid plot or whatever, like that I think was dumb. Like that. And it was just like, nah.
Yeah, but again, it's something that they like would happen though.
Yeah, but
or someone would have that idea for sure.
Yeah, but to be like, hey, let's take the chance and
right.
Like, I don't think that's again where like the later stuff starts to get really dumb.
Yeah,
and way less believable. And that's one of the things where like when it turned when like mid. I mean, they had the idea to go up and let's destroy this thing, or at least get it off course by blowing at it. And then like mid takeoff, then it's like, oh, he's turning around, he's coming back. And then like you find out, oh, it's because this, the tech billionaire or whatever, convinced, I guess, the president to change the plans. But that, again, I think that's, I guess they had to, I mean, for the plot, they wanted it to end by hitting the Earth. Just prove a point, right? So I guess you had to do something, but you could have had him go up there and it not work, and done something different.
Yeah, but that was already pretty late in the movie. So then it's like would you want to make the movie even longer at that point? You know,
well, longer. They did it anyway because they had him come back and they changed, they shifted the plot, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, I just thought that stuff didn't work as well. Other than, like his character worked as like a satire on these tech billionaires or whatever. I guess like Elon Musk could be another one in there, right? Like,
true, yeah.
That just, thinks, hey, I can save everybody, whatever. And I think Elon Musk is brilliant and has done some crazy stuff, but just that's what they're trying to satire. I think at the micro level, his character worked, but as like that plot point for why he's like suddenly there, I think it's weak. But
I only have something about the end, really, and that's it of my notes. So I don't know if you have.
Oh, okay.
Anything else?
So yeah, it was one other thing. There's barely anything involved the rest of the world. Like, it's so focused on the U.S.
Yeah, they show like a few times.
Mm-hmm.
I think on like the news, it'll show like other places in the world, but yeah,
and
barely at all.
Like, that would be an opportunity to, I think, more logically shift the plot. If you were like wanting to do them take off, do something, but then interference from like some other, like China or something, and then have that third act be something like either because they couldn't agree with something, something. I feel like that would be more logical, something that would really happen. And then, and then you could have the tech billionaire come in and say he's got a plan to save it and still fail, whatever.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I just think there's a missed opportunity there to maybe make something a little more interesting.
It would be more interesting
for some conflict to create that third act.
Yeah, no, that's true. But it's definitely, and I have a note when we get into themes messaging, like definitely is a commentary specifically on America in the moment, though. So it's like they wanted to
keep it focused on them. That's true.
That's what it seems.
That's true. And then I have just a note about the final dinner scene, and then the post credit scene.
Yeah, that's my note is the dinner scene.
Yeah. I think that scene though ends it well, brings it full circle, has character development in our both our two lead scientists, like kind of see growth and change in them.
Mm-hmm.
And even the other guy that was from NASA, right? Yeah. And just, I think it was a great way to kind of end the movie.
Yeah.
For real.
Yeah. That's why I'm like, I like the way they ended on that, in that scene. Also, I just think it's a nice moment, like all getting together at home, turning off the TV, no phones, all that, and having one last dinner and cooking together. And then all of them saying something that they're thankful for, like basically completely, which is, always a good thing to do at certain points anyway, is like, no phone and getting away from all that, being in the moment.
And in value. And then, because he says that comment about, we really did have everything.
Mm-hmm.
And again, that's the good part of the heart of this thing.
Yeah.
And I think, where there is some messaging to say, like, is like, hey, we should be thankful for what we have. Why do we always wanting more? Blah, blah, blah. And which I know we're going to get to things and messages, but,
yep.
Yeah.
And then
there's the post.
Yeah. Which I don't have anything to say about. I just think it's awful. That's my note. And I think that ruins it, adding that in. Like they should have just ended the movie where they did.
Yes, I think I agree in general, because I think most of it's dumb. The only thing it would be is to try to, I think, show the point that the world didn't listen, and so it didn't survive it at all, and they land on a different planet altogether.
Mm-hmm.
Because I guess if the world had,
but then they end up dying anyway.
Well, at least some of them. We don't know how.
Probably all of them eventually.
Yeah, I don't know. cinematography.
Yeah.
So again, kind of alluded to, I wouldn't say there's anything that was like amazing in this, but again, like in general, I think the way it's shot and kind of made and lit and all the things, not that different than the last two films from like to try to feel very almost, let's say documentary style, but a little bit, because it, again, with the mix of the cuts of the news and social content, whatever it interact, reminds me of some stuff that he did in the last two films, Big Short and wait, did you have Vice or not?
A little bit, but
yeah, I was trying to remember. I feel like Nick news stuff about him, like, as the vice president. But the the lab and telescopes setup that looked good.
Yeah,
inside the government offices makes it. It was definitely a little darker and kind of. Of course, the studio, the TV studio, was very looked like that, like, kind of has like the overlit, high key.
Yeah, well, yeah, and they definitely did something to it also, to where the way it looks when they're on. I don't know what that effect is, but yeah, not just the lighting, but you know what I'm talking about, like when they're actually
showing it as a broadcast versus,
yes,
it's got like the.
I don't know what the effect is, but I could, it's that difference of, I guess, I don't know what they do with live TV, but yeah.
Yep.
It's different than sports also too.
I mean, it might
sports
just be
is like higher frame rate normally, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's probably a little higher frame rate too, just not as high.
Okay.
No, I really don't know, but I wonder if live broadcast TV is probably at 30 frames a second, and sports is probably at 60.
That makes sense. Yeah.
And then when you're watching film or other stuff, it's 24. So
unless it's the UK,
it's 25,
but not always though, because sometimes I'm watching UK stuff and it looks the same as the US. But yeah, theirs is, I don't know. What is the difference? Because it does feel significant to me.
Well, they shoot everything either at 25 or 50.
Oh, okay. Well, that would be okay.
They don't have three, like where we do 24, 30, and 60.
Right.
It's Europe, not just UK, but like mostly.
Sure, yeah, that's right.
But I don't know, the launch. We didn't talk about this, but the the launch sequence of stuff, like the CG stuff, was kind of
not great.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was probably the point, because that's like, I'm assuming normally one of the final things they do in post, right, is all the CG. Mm-hmm. So it's like that we're at that time now where it's like visual effects artists don't have enough time, and then it ends up not looking good, like a lot of other stuff that we've seen.
Pretty soon they'll probably just replace them with AI.
Well, yeah, I saw that.
Now they'll have time.
Man, yeah, I saw that. What was the Google thing?
Yeah,
that was crazy.
Yeah.
We all knew it was gonna happen, but just
So that the dinner table scene we talked about, but also visually it looked great. Not just emotionally and story wise. And then I think the other thing, the destruction montage, at the end was actually really good.
That part looked good,
visually, until you get to like the cheesy stuff after, where there's like the on the other planet. You mean? Because it feels like just a SNL skit or something.
Yes.
So, yeah. Yeah. What about the music? You got to say about it?
Yeah. Well, this is why I said I'm like this makes sense for nomination because obviously I already talked about him a lot. He's a lot of his scores I really like, but I really like this one too. It was like a really good like hybrid of sounds and instruments that he did with this one, which kept it unique, just like all of his other scores, but still didn't sound like Andor or Succession or anything else he's done either. So yeah, I really liked it.
Cool. Anything else? No, that's it. You liked it.
Yeah, no, I don't have anything else specifically for score.
Okay. Well, then themes and messages. I mean, I kind of spoiled mine earlier, but I just put down to be thankful for what we have and appreciate.
Yeah, that's a big part for sure.
Do you have anything different?
I kind of started with, it does seem like this whole film is a commentary on America specifically, and also more of the commentary also feels like it has to do with government and social media doing a lot more harm than good, and for America, and also showing the divide in America, unfortunately, and it seems like it even in 2021 when this came out, and it seems like it when this released, it's sad that it seems like it's been more divided even since then in America, and also, but I don't think anyone knows how to fix it though right now, unfortunately. But anyway, so a lot of America, even the past 5 years, we talked about since like 2020, which again, I don't know when this film started filming. Yeah. But yeah, even since then, and like everything that happened in 2020 and so on since then in these 5 years. Yeah.
So do some trivia.
Yeah.
This first one confirms what we suspected.
Okay.
This film during COVID, because Jennifer Lawrence filmed most of her scenes with a broken tooth. Due to restrictions in place during COVID, she could not get it fixed. The missing tooth was added in post-production.
Oh, okay.
So I guess she had a gap tooth or something in the missing tooth in there. Leonardo DiCaprio spent about 6 months getting education from the film consultant Amy Miser, who's a real-life astronomer, so he could learn.
Of course, that sounds like something he would do.
It was Jonah Hill's idea for his character to carry a Birkin bag everywhere, as he and the filmmakers thought it would add an absurdist touch if his president's chief of staff carried nuclear codes around in a $30,000 bag.
Yeah. Still, I wonder if he made the choices for anything else with this character, because it was not great.
Shots of the comet are almost identical in shape and orientation as the Hale-Bopp comet, visible to the naked eye for around 18 months in the late 1990s.
Okay.
When asked whether President Orlean is a Republican or Democrat, Director Adam McKay didn't reveal, but answered, "I don't think either party has much to be proud about over the last 40 years.
Yeah, see? There you go. That kind of confirms it too. He didn't want to do either, really.
Yeah. Timothée Chalamet wasn't going to have long hair in the film, but after filming was delayed from April to November of 2020, he didn't cut it during lockdown. Then during a Zoom meeting, the director liked the way it looked and asked him to not cut it before the shoot.
I mean, it fits his character.
Yeah.
Also, for sure.
A QR code appears on the screen. If scanned, the link opens a YouTube video called Ariana Grande and Kid Cudi. Just look up full performance video. Don't look up Netflix.
Oh, the song.
So like the song.
Dude, that song was awful.
They have the whole song. You can watch
the whole song. Okay.
Most of the smartphones used by the characters and presented by the company Bash throughout the movie are hydrogen phones made by cinema camera manufacturer Red. The phones were a colossal flop due to their high price and constant delays, which made them pretty dated by the time of the release. The phone number provided to call for the peace of mind, the 1-800-532-4500, routes to America's hottest talk line, where hot girls are waiting to talk.
Nice.
Jennifer Lawrence hated her opening scene in which she stares at a computer whilst quilting, quietly rapping, Ain't Nothing to F With by Wu-Tang. The scene took many takes, and Lawrence was getting increasingly embarrassed by her own performance. She was a lot happier when she saw the final product, as the scene is only a few minutes long.
There's a lot to remember, yeah. And the flow of it, for sure. That song.
Matthew Perry was cast as a Republican journalist and had shot one of his 3 scenes, which he had to pull out due to medical emergencies. Would have been his last performance before he died in 2023.
Oh, wow. That would have been interesting to see. So they shot at least some of it.
He shot one of the 3 scenes. Yeah, I think it's about it from that. Yeah, final thoughts. Hopefully he does something better soon.
Yeah, I don't know what he's doing movie wise, so we'll see.
But because the 2 titles before this were pretty good. So
yeah, do you want to talk about that?
Yeah,
Vice.
Well, let's
I'm
talk,
curious.
Talk a little about Vice. I don't have any written notes, but
no, I just want to. Yeah, since you weren't on that pod, yeah.
I mean, in general, I liked the film.
Mm-hmm.
Thought it was good, entertaining to watch. I think Amy Adams and
Christian Bale.
Yeah. And why can't I think of his name off the top of my head? Both their performances were fantastic.
Yeah,
I mean, especially to play themselves, like the aging through over time and different stuff was great. Yeah, I think all that stuff, it was good. I mean, I don't know how true to what really happened or not, and how close it is to the real person, but because some of that's kind of crazy too. I mean, the obviously made Bush look like an idiot in the film, but it made it look like the vice president was pulling the strings on everything.
Yeah.
But so I don't know about that. Like some of the political stuff in there like that. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
But just as a straight film, if you're not thinking, hey, this is based on a true person, yeah, I thought it was really good, and it was good.
It's funny because it's the only one. I mean, we talked about it on the pod, but it's funny that the one you missed was the Greg Fraser one, cinematographer. I don't know if you looked that up, but yeah, he did.
I didn't look it up, but it did look really good. it's
and Blake didn't know, and I was talking to him. I was like, "You know who this is?" No, and then when I rattled off everything he did, he was like, "Holy crap!" He's like, "That's why this movie looks so good." I'm like, "Yeah, well, he's one of the best right now."
Yeah. Well, it looked good.
Yeah,
and you're right. That's crazy.
Yeah, Greg Fraser. Yeah,
and it has that. Now that you say it, like I can just see it, because it's like even a lot of his stuff is Deacon-esque inspired.
Yep.
But like kind of taking it to another level.
Yeah.
The best way to say it, but still keeping it in that style. which there's no like, not a lot of like high contrast. Too often it's more, but yeah, anyway, yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, cool. I didn't realize, but yeah, you're right. It did look good. And
Yeah.
for a film that like didn't have much opportunity because mostly just character conversations, but
yeah, it's not like Dune.
No.
Yeah, or something like that. Yeah. Or Rogue One or what else? Everything else he's done too. Yeah.
But that's fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Did you want to share with our watchers and listeners where we're going next?
Yeah. Yeah. Paul Thomas Anderson, PTA. I think he has 10 movies, counting the one that's coming out in September, which we didn't talk about this, but that like we're going to do all of them or all 9, and then we'll have a little bit of a gap. Like that won't lead right up to the release of one battle after another. But I'm really looking forward to that movie. But I really like Paul Thomas Anderson anyway. And I'm curious. There's some I haven't seen, and I'm curious. I don't really know.
There's some that I haven't seen either.
Yeah, I don't know.
Including
like any
our first one. What is
Hard 8? I think.
I don't think I've seen that film.
Hard 8?
The second one I saw was Boogie Nights, and I know I've seen that.
Oh yeah, that movie's great. Yeah. Let me see. I think it's called Hard 8. Yes, Hard 8, 1996. Yeah, so that'll be our first one with them. But yeah, I'm curious because, I mean, he has a lot of great movies, but I'm curious. I don't know of any of them that you've seen. Well, I guess besides Boogie Nights, but
yeah. I've seen a couple of the other ones when I was scanning the list earlier, but I probably have seen less than half of them. Yeah.
Okay, cool. I mean, he's, especially right now, he's pretty high up. Like he's getting to the, at least by people in general, it seems like the Tarantino level, like of reverence people have for him.
Yeah, because you're doing less than 10 films and 30 years and
30, yeah,
and then
pretty much.
If all of them are pretty well regarded, then you start to get a good reputation.
We'll see. Yeah, I'm excited. Yeah, I have not seen this first one, I don't think so. Yeah,
cool. Well, I guess what we didn't ask is, what was your favorite Adam McKay film?
Oh, I think it's tough, but I think it's just because I think it's underrated. Also, like The Other Guys has just always been really big for me. That's still one of my favorites of his. What about you? What do you think?
Yeah, I know it's kind of leaning towards these. I mean, The Big Short, obviously.
Yeah, that's high up too.
It's up there, and I did really, like I said, the performances and the cinematography was good, like in Vice.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, then The Other Guys and Original Anchorman obviously is classic.
And Talladega and Step Brothers,
another classic. Yeah,
but
so it's like they're so different though, because those old like comedies versus these like newer ones that are.
But even the gap in between, because it was The Other Guys, then it was Anchorman 2 was like gapped in between that, and then before he did Big Short, and I think I don't remember on that pod. I think you liked Anchorman 2 more than me, but that was kind of his first experiment, at least for me, into
more
like
of a misstep.
Yeah, because that seems kind of similar to this movie, Don't Look Up. Obviously very different movie, but kind of with the way he's experimenting with. But also that's different because that was his first sequel he did, and this is still an original. And again, the story of this is really interesting for this movie, so it's kind of good that he's decided not to, like, because I'm sure he's had many opportunities, or studios wanting him to do other sequels, and he hasn't. At least not yet. I don't know. Maybe he is. Maybe he's doing Step Brothers too. I don't know. But
we don't know he's doing that. Yeah. Know.
Write in if you know. I don't. Yeah, because we looked it up and I didn't see. It looked like a lot of just executive producing. So.
Or directing a couple episodes of TV shows.
Yeah. Yeah, which I think he is. I think that's the only thing I saw was it was like a mini series or something coming up. But yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, Hope you enjoyed our coverage of Adam McKay. Let us know if you have obviously any thoughts or feedback on any of those. We can still cover them even though we're moving on. But if you have stuff that you want to write in, you can. You can email us at feedback@screentimepod.com, or, send it in as a DM or comment. You can like and subscribe on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, even though I guess they haven't been posting as many things lately.
No, not recently.
You're going to get back to that.
Yeah.
If you'd like, you can follow each of us on Instagram. I'm at Jay Youngbar.
No, I'm at Jared Youngbar.
All right. We will catch you guys next time.